Baker Mayfield traded to the Panthers. Like I said, it's only a matter of time before the Browns implode. And that means they're eventually going to ship off Kareem Hunt. Why not bring him to the Eagles? Dallas still stinks. You're by the way, King Dingbat here, and hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. So we talked about this, man. We talked about this. It's only a matter of time before Baker Mayfield gets traded, Deshaun Watson gets suspended, the Cleveland Browns implode, then they look to trade guys like Kareem Hunt to whoever, maybe one of the teams that could go and acquire him, the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, we're going to get into it in a second, but before we do that, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like. More importantly, make sure you subscribe for almost daily Eagles content, even when we're in undisclosed locations, okay? We don't stop. And if you've been subscribed for a while, just double check, double moonwalk check. Make sure you're still subscribed. Just make sure YouTube ain't acting a little goofy, because it does that sometimes. Now, Baker Mayfield gets traded. For all that you guys, most of you have probably heard this, but for all of you guys that haven't so far, here was what Ian Rappaport reported. A new quarterback in Carolina. The Panthers are acquiring #1 overall pick Baker Mayfield from the Cleveland Browns for a 2024 conditional 5th round pick. What highway robbery is that? Sources tell me at Tom Pelissero, I can't pronounce his name, deal is pending a physical. All parties split the financials to make this happen. Now listen, Baker Mayfield was the #1 overall pick in the draft. Yeah, he hasn't lived up to what he was drafted as, but the best the Cleveland Browns could do was sell him for pennies on the dollar. A 5th round pick, a conditional 5th round pick. That's horrible. That's horrible. And you know why they lost all his value and couldn't get anything for him? Because everybody knew that he wanted out in Cleveland. Everybody knew he wasn't going to play there. And this is, in my opinion, a disastrous move by the Cleveland Browns front office. Not to mention that you have Deshaun Watson, who you give all that money to, then you have more stuff come out on him, then you sign all that money to Deshaun Watson, and he's going to be suspended for a year. Now, when we talked about Deshaun Watson, and there were the Eagles, the Deshaun Watson rumors, the one thing I said all the time, you can't make any move for a guy like that until everything is cleared. He's got to be cleared of all of it, because the last thing you want to do is get a guy and have him suspended. That's exactly what the Cleveland Browns have done. And to me, you're not going to have him start. He's going to be suspended the whole year. So who's it going to be? Brissett? Think he's going to be their starter? I would have preferred to have Mayfield start if I was the Browns over Brissett. But he doesn't want to play there. So now he's going to get traded. Deshaun Watson's going to get suspended. And the Browns are going to stink. And when they stink, they're going to look to start trading some assets. Well, guess who could be available? That's right, one Kareem Hunt. Now, I've talked about Kareem Hunt to Philly before. There's been stuff on Bleacher Report saying that this would be a perfect deal for the Eagles. And let's face it, the Eagles need another running back. There's a few positions the Eagles need. I think in terms of adding depth to the team, I don't think they necessarily need a starting running back. You got Miles Sanders. I don't think you need a starting tight end. You got Dallas Goedert. I don't think you need those positions, but I also think you could increase the depth at those positions, okay? Now, a lot of people didn't like when I talked about the Eagles maybe going out and getting another tight end because we assume Dallas Goedert's going to be a stud, and he is. He's going to be, and he's going to get majority of the snaps. But when you look at the tight end position, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Calcaterra, Tyree Jackson, you look at these guys, and there's not one of them that you can unequivocally, even though that makes no sense, I just said that, but there's not one of those guys, besides Goddard, you can be sure that is going to go out and contribute and do everything that you hope. There's a lot of hope in Calcaterra. I keep saying he's an undrafted free agent. He was 6th round pick. So I gotta fix my mistakes on my previous videos when it comes to that. However, my thing is this, okay? If you could add depth pieces, why not do it? Why not do it? The running back situation, I think you need Miles, you need Ball Scott, you need Professor Kenneth Gainwell. If you could add a physical running back, a short yardage back, a guy to complement those guys, you got to take a chance and do it. Now, Kareem Hunt, to me, is a guy who averages 2.8 yards after contact, okay? He would come in and be a great complement to Miles, Gainwell, and Ball Scott. He would give you an element that those guys don't have, the physicality. So, if there's a situation emerges, and I'm saying this, talking about the Browns, assuming that implosion is coming soon, that their whole season is pretty much screwed, because they're not going to have a starting quarterback. They traded Baker Mayfield for a 5th round conditional pick. I would have wanted more for that. I would have had to get more. Okay, now he's going to go to the Carolina Panthers, and he is going to what? Compete with Sam Darnold? He'll probably win. It is interesting. I think that Cleveland and Carolina play week 1. So they're going to get to play each other. Should be interesting. But if you get a guy like Kareem Hunt that could come in a trade, if you could pull it off, do it. What would you have to give? I would try to give a mid-round pick. Let the Browns accumulate some more picks. They're going to need them. You know what I'm saying? But I see Kareem Hunt as a guy potentially down the road when you get to like the trade deadline around that area where the Browns are going to be selling. They're going to be looking to get rid of guys because of the season that they've had. And I think a guy like Kareem Hunt, who's got, I think, 1 year left on his deal, he's the perfect candidate to come in, at the trade deadline for the Eagles while the Eagles get ready for a playoff run. Same thing happened when the Eagles in 2017 went out at the trade deadline and acquired Jay Ajayi. You could definitely do it again. Now listen, you may not like Kareem Hunt, you may not like him personally, and that's fine. To me, even if you don't like him, you still got to acknowledge that they do need a physical back. They still need a physical back. So if you want to bring in Jordan Howard back, right, at the worst case scenario, training camp, some point in time, bring Jordan Howard back, I think you need a guy like that. So I definitely would be all for it. But I see opportunity in the Cleveland Browns roster because, like I said, I think that this is going to be a tough year for them. I really do. And then in 2 years, we'll see what happens. Who knows if Deshaun Watson even comes back? Who knows what will come out from all this stuff? But I think you take the opportunity to get better when you can. And the same goes for tight ends, which we talked a little bit about before. Even other people are saying the same thing. Michael Greger on Twitter said this: pound Eagles depth chart at tight end. 1 Dallas Goedert, 2 Jack Stahl, 3 Richard Rodgers, 4 J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, 5 Grant Calcaterra, rookie, and then Tyree Jackson, ACL tear rehab. He won't even be ready for the start of the season. If they want to sign a veteran tight end free agent, Eric Ebron, Kyle Rudolph, Jesse James, Jared Cook, pound fly, Eagles fly. I think if you could add another tight end, do it. I mean, I would rather have a running back. If you said to me, what's one area that you really would like to see the Eagles add to depth, I would say definitely running back. I think you need a physical running back. I think you need a complimentary running back. Tight end would be probably my second or third choice because I still think you have to get a number 2 tight end. You don't have to, but if you don't, then you have to hope that Jack Stahl plays better, plays like a number 2. Richard Rodgers can actually stay healthy. Arcega-Whiteside, can he make the position switch? Calcaterra, will he be as good as we hope? Now, I think out of all the guys, I think Calcaterra has the best opportunity to be your starting number 2. And I think Tyree Jackson, coming off injury, is going to be in need another year to learn and to make the transition. So I would wait a little bit, but I think the Eagles, pretty much, in my opinion, their roster's set. But I do think that if you could add depth pieces, by all means, at this point, do it. do it. I see a running back, tight end as two areas where I think you still could improve. Okay, you could even make a case. Maybe this is a strong case, but if you wanted to get, if you could find yourself another guy to play a backup right tackle, something like that, I would do that too. But anytime you could add depth, do it. Why wouldn't you? I see Kareem Hunt as an opportunity around the trade deadline because the Baker Mayfield trade is going to be just the start of the Cleveland Brown implosion. That's what I really think, in my opinion. But no matter where you can, when you can, if you can add depth to your team, that's never a bad thing. So I would look at running back. I would even look at tight end. I know a lot of people don't agree with me on the tight end, but in my opinion, I still can't say for sure Jack Stahl, Richard Rodgers, Arcega Whiteside, Calvin Terry, Tyree Jackson. There's not one of those guys that I can comfortably say to you, yes, they are your number 2 tight end, no problem. We have to wait and see. Maybe they will be. Probably somebody will emerge that way. But right now, I don't know. Richard Rodgers would be the only guy I think that could. The only thing is he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay healthy. And then at running back, you've got 3 good running backs that are all, in my opinion, similar. You need a bigger back. And if you could go get a guy like a Jordan Howard or maybe at the trade deadline a Kareem Hunt or something like that, I say you do it. That's just my opinion, you know. What? Mark Holmes gave out your number. Mark Holmes. Wait a second. What the Hold on. Mark Holmes is giving a... Why do I have 3 people texting me saying Mark Holmes leaked my number? What the hell's going on? Mark Holmes leaked my number. So what? I gave the guy a reprieve to the 4th. Now he's leaking my number. I gotta go find out what happened. What the hell? With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Let me know what you guys think. Don't be a dingbat. It's how we vision. We're all just living in it. Mark Holmes leaking my number. So if you're wondering where I am, by the way, I'm passing through Vegas right now. I'm headed to Florida. I got business to do in Florida. You know, it's witness protection program stuff. So I gotta go and take care of some business. That's what I'm doing. And yes, Mark Holmes he did leak my number. He actually leaked my number. You know, I think it was an accident, but he leaked it. But I guess that means our little peace settlement to the 4th is over. It's over. Now, Mark Holmes, I'm coming for your meats.